Now, be warned. The sounds you hear in this are all from a person. There are no animals involved in this video. Stop it.
Welcome to the Naked
to the
Apple.
Censored Apple.
Yes.
Because that's what YouTube thinks, apparently. It actually feels kind of good that we're important enough for YouTube to block a second video of ours.
Apparently.
They still have yet to re-block the one that we re-uploaded after we used their own sources against them.
Okay, a simple wrong would have done just fine, but...
No, because everything they said was incoherent and dumb.
That's true.
But no, we got an email from YouTube on our Race to Be Racist video. They said, "Hi, The Naked Apple. Our team has reviewed your content, and unfortunately, we think it violates our..."
Get this. This is important.
Now, to be clear, Race to Be Racist, we were talking about the Georgia election laws and things like that. Violates our sex and nudity policy.
Stop it. Get some help.
Now, we know Mike is a specimen
I am.
to behold.
I have the body of a god.
It's...
Hey, don't laugh. I meant, one of the Hindu ones that's round.
Buddha is a god.
Buddha is a god, right? It counts.
We've removed the following content from YouTube. The video, Race to Be Racist, because of the URL www.thenakedapplemedia.com/shop. That's right, our t-shirt shop.
Our t-shirt
violates their
shop.
sex and nudity policy.
Science.
At this point, pretty much. We of course appealed that.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Yeah. We told them our channel is called The Naked Apple. The link in question is a direct link to our online store where we currently have 2 shirts for sale. Both shirts are devoid of nudity and or sexual content. The site as a whole does not have any such imagery. Does not have any such imagery either. Please physically review the link and provide the specific violations within the link and we will address them. Now, it was extremely difficult to not post links of YouTube videos that are still allowed and monetized with certain rap stars that are grinding.
Insert any Cardi B music video here.
Yeah, or what's his face that's grinding on the devil.
Nas or whatever.
Yeah. Those are
his name
fine.
is.
Those are fine. In part of the appeal, too, they said that they take it on a case-by-case basis, and depending on the review, they may put an age restriction on it. Every video we upload, we check not for children.
Yes.
So it does not show up in the
Children's
kids
YouTube
stuff.
Side. Yeah.
So I suspect they couldn't ding us on anything else in that list because
sources.
Our sources are irrefutable and from the source. So they nailed us on our t-shirt shop because I guess we're making an impact on the 7 people that watch our videos.
Apparently.
Son of a... You done messed up, Aaron!
Yeah, so go and grab yourself a censored shirt now, I guess.
That's the next shirt we need to make. just a censor bar.
Little apple peeking over the top of the bar.
Little apple, just his eyes.
I'm fine with this.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Yeah, so, yes, it pisses me off like no other because why?
It's all right. It's all right. We should forgive. We should forgive them. Forgiveness is a thing.
It is.
Shh. Do you hear that? That's the sound of forgiveness.
That's the sound of people drowning, Carl.
That is what forgiveness sounds like. Screaming and then silence.
Silence.
But in a way, it feels good because clearly they hate what we're doing, so let's keep going.
Clearly. I'm just waiting for the notification that we've been demonetized.
You've been demonetized. We were making money?
We were making... You were getting paid for this? You guys were getting paid?
What?
What?
That'll be the day. It'll be a glorious day. But it is not this day.
It is not this day.
So that's behind the scenes news for you.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Your online store has nudity. Where?
A blessing from the Lord. God be praised.
God be praised. So with that bit of happy news, we'll get some more happy on with our usual vitamin B.
Ooh, it's time for the vitamin B. Yes.
Ready for it.
I wasn't ready for it, but I am now.
That's how usual it is.
You know what? You know what? You hush.
Hush, puppies.
Gosh dang it. Work. Touch screen. Work. There we go. Okay. Here we go. Vitamin B.
Vitamin B.
There. It's time. Time for the vitamin B. Welcome to the vitamin B.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Oh, yes. Anytime. You pay my paycheck, so it's kind of required.
It's really have to reach deep in my pocket to pull all those zeros out for you.
You do. You do.
It's so many zeros.
So many zeros. Followed precariously by a decimal point.
Zeros are zeros.
Just followed by more zeros.
Uh-huh. Got zeros for days.
Well, we have good news this week. Good news.
Good.
Good news.
I could use some good news.
Yes, yeah. So we'll start with the best news.
The best.
The best of the news.
Just going downhill from here.
It is. BLM founder reminds everyone justice won't fully be served until she can buy a fifth house.
That's understandable, really.
It is.
Who among us doesn't have 5 multi-million-dollar houses?
Yep.
Especially us white people with all our privilege.
So, continuing on, we have some good news from NASA. NASA frantically building real moon for Elon to land on.
That's no moon.
No moon. Jurors read their final wills before giving verdict.
That was...
In your legal news, Meow Mix sued for false advertising after a study shows cats were just making standard cat noises and not asking for a particular brand of food.
Oh.
It's about time. This is a lawsuit 25 years in the making.
This is bigger than the Subway footlong is actually 11 and a half inches.
This is much bigger than that, yes. Minneapolis business owner ups her peaceful protest insurance following the verdict being given earlier today.
Oh.
That's a good idea for I would suggest that everybody do that if you haven't already.
Right.
Of course, if you haven't already, your shop's probably already gone, and
it's okay though.
It's
they
fine.
Still have insurance anyway.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So it's fine.
Yes. In the trial news, we have a couple of decent articles. Judge asks jurors to disregard Maxine Waters as she pours gasoline on their heads.
She's just waltzing around the jury box. Pay no mind. She's got a match.
Yes.
It's fine.
In his closing arguments, prosecutor tearfully addresses each juror by name, phone number, and street address.
Oh, good. It makes it personable.
It does. It's so...
You can really relate
it is
at that point.
Important to connect with your audience. It's very important to connect with your audience. And last but not least, the Democrats have introduced a new bill in the House today proposing taxing treasures laid up in heaven.
I thought you said that wasn't least.
Well,
it's not. That's most.
If you've done this to the least of these, my brethren, this has been your Babylon B, Vitamin B News.
You know, if Democrats had their way, they would tax the devil out of hell.
That's true. That is true.
I can't stand it here. He'd go to Florida to escape the taxes.
Well, you know, he's responsible for global warming, so it's...
He'll feel right at home then. Da 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 da.
Well then,
tab. Oh,
well then,
right.
Where are we starting here?
Well, I guess we'll start with Chauvin because this broke just a few hours before we started doing this, which is after most of the things I listened to. So we're breaking this compared to them. But this will upload after.
This will upload after they break it tomorrow
yeah.
morning. So there's that.
So man, but yeah, Chauvin was found guilty. Jury came back and stop playing, Judge. I don't care about you, Judge. You're a terrible judge, Judge. Judge.
His last name is Judge.
Judge.
All stand for the Honorable Judge.
Judge. Yeah, jury Tuesday in the trial of ex-Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin in the death of George Floyd found Chauvin guilty of manslaughter and second and third degree murder. All of them. All three. Guilty of everything.
That's not right.
This is according to Just the News.
I thought the charges were second degree murder, second degree
well, they added
assault,
third degree before the trial started.
And manslaughter. Because in order to get the second degree murder, they had to have another felony to charge him with.
They do preface this with it's a developing story. So I don't think anybody really knows.
Yeah, I don't think those are actually the charges.
Part of this too is Wisconsin is an oddball state in how they classify murder versus everyone else. Most states classify murder as intent. You intended to murder, whereas murder in Wisconsin fits the definition of just like negligent manslaughter and stuff in any other state. So it's kind of a weird thing. But yeah, the jury came out and said guilty of everything. Now, mind you, today was the first day the jury stepped away, right?
Yeah. It is right, by the way. I just double-checked it. It was the article I was reading earlier that was wrong.
So this is correct?
This is correct.
Aha, Just the News wins again.
Second and third degree murder as well as manslaughter. And I believe it was second degree manslaughter too.
Right. Yeah, so just to... This is something that adds to my thinking that the jury didn't actually jury. There's over 5,000 pieces of evidence, right? Is that what we heard about on the first day?
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Over 5,000 pieces of evidence, an entire week of testimony, and the jury convened today to review all of it in 6 hours. Less than 6 hours, I think, actually.
Less than 6 hours. I think they went in at 8 and were done by 1 or 2, something like that. Central time,
right?
If I remember correctly.
Right. So they reviewed 5,000 pieces of evidence and an entire week's worth of opening remarks, testimonies, and closing testimonies, remarks, whatever they call it.
Oh, no, they went in last night at 8 p.m.
Oh.
So they reviewed it overnight.
Overnight. Okay. Overnight. And, of course, they did not take into any consideration anything going on outside of the courtroom at all.
At all. No.
None. They didn't take into consideration Maxine
Well, they have to turn in their
Waters
phones when they go into deliberation.
when they go into deliberation, not when they're sitting in the jury box or during the court proceedings.
I don't know. I pulled that fact out of my ass. I have no idea what they have to do. I sound like I know what I'm saying.
And when they go home to sleep in between the court hearings, they didn't check the news at all or hear from their family that was concerned that something was going to happen.
The only thing I know about jury duty I learned from the movie.
And we know that that's real because it's Hollywood.
Yeah, well, of course it was real. Pauly Shore was in it.
In the documentary Jury Duty.
I actually have a friend in New Mexico who has now been called in for jury duty on 3 separate juries in the last, 2 weeks.
Gross. Are you sure you don't want to be a juror? Are you sure?
And then there's me over here even if they called me, they'd never pick me. Let's see.
Can I just say no, or do I go in and waste everyone's time?
Right? Let's see. White, male, 30s. Okay, so good. So, he has that opinion? Oh, he can't be on this jury.
Just scratch that right out. Yeah, they're not taking into consideration anything about Maxine Waters saying,
The thing.
Saying the thing. Not by Maxine Waters, not at all inciting further violence in Minnesota.
Not at all. She wasn't inciting violence. She was encouraging protests to be more active.
Yeah. Now, Maxine Waters is a representative out of California, and she doesn't even live in her district. And she was in Minnesota telling people that if it's not a guilty verdict, to stay in the streets and to up the ante, basically. And she was there after curfew. Minnesota has a curfew? Yeah, the Minneapolis has a curfew because it's on fire. Yeah, she was breaking a law there and then actually inciting violence, which I believe a certain former president was held on fake trial for. But, what do I know? I only pay attention to things. Yeah, so the jury came up with that decision, was not at all influenced by the outside, and the judge only threatened the case to be thrown out as a mistrial 3 times during the trial. All 3 times, I think, were during the closing remarks.
Yeah, and he threatened it when it should have happened at least 4 times.
Yeah. So And he did point out, too, with Maxine Waters, that if this goes to appeal, it could be thrown out as a mistrial because of her comments. So, there you go, mob. There's your target if that's if this doesn't go your way. Yeah. But I have my doubts about it because, I don't know, I looked at some of the evidence. My mind was changed when I saw the 20-minute clip. How long it was.
The whole clip. Yeah.
With the fancy 8-minute one that everyone knows about and saw over and over and over again. It's like, yeah, that's doesn't look good. It's pretty bad. At least negligent manslaughter, at least. But then you see the context, what led up to them pulling out their phones to start recording. Oh, well, he was kicking the police officers. He was saying he couldn't breathe before he got out of the car. He was resisting arrest. He was in the squad car with the air conditioning on and the windows down saying that he can't breathe. So they got him out of the car and on his request put him on the ground. And he continued to resist them and fight them. And then they started recording.
Yeah.
Huh. And the reason why we only saw the 8-minute one until recently, now the full length thing, is because the Attorney General thought it would be too disturbing to the public to watch the full 20 minutes. So the entire context is too disturbing, but the 8 minutes in which he's dying is
not disturbing. Not disturbing at all. No.
All right, cool.
That's not a thing that's disturbing.
So long as we're all on the same page. And for all of the checking on stuff, Crowder did an incredible job of compiling together some of the evidence and also demonstrating the position that Chauvin and all that are in. Chauvin and Floyd. Mm-hmm. I think he should have been the defense lawyer.
If he was a lawyer, I mean...
Well, he's got half-Asian lawyer that...
He has a half-Asian Kraken.
Half-Asian Kraken. Release the Kraken. Yeah, that died. By her own admission. All right, so on from that. On from the doom and gloom that's linked to that, because there's already cries of how this isn't justice from progressives and everything, because it's not first-degree murder.
There is no win in this situation.
No, zero win.
Zero win. You've now torn apart the fabric of the capability of police to do their job. You've torn apart the trust in the justice system. You've created a mob mentality of people that now have solid evidence that if they go out and they threaten people's lives and they threaten violence, they'll get their way. That's what you've done.
They'll get the justice, quote unquote, that they
want.
Yeah.
Not what is actually just or actually right or actually true, but the verdict that they think should happen.
They will get their justice just like they have their truth.
Right.
It's the same stupid thing.
There's
justice and there's their justice. There's truth and there's their truth. My truth is this.
Anybody that questioned what I said a few episodes ago about our Constitution and our freedom hanging by a thread, proof positive.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah, we watched basically all of the last couple of years, trust in government systems just crumbling apart. The executive branch, we watched that fall apart because FBI, CIA, all these things being exposed for lying. And just recently there was the Russian price on U.S. troops' heads. We kind of made that up. Oh, the intelligence community kind of made up that thing to make Trump look bad.
Yeah.
Oh.
But they're not talking about the fact that now Russia has troops on the Ukrainian border.
It's only 120,000 or more.
Only 100, more than 120,000.
Only that.
You know, no big deal.
Ukraine is basically Russia anyway.
No, we aren't that good allies with them. This won't be something we have to intervene in.
This after, I wish I had the story still. This after Joe Biden calls Ukraine as president of the United States and says, we're going to withhold aid from you until you stop investigating things.
Didn't we just have a president impeached for seriously?
I'm finding it.
Son of a...
Yep. Yeah, it's a good thing to find. But seriously, you see from point A to point B here, everything is falling apart. And it's just ridiculous. I mean, this trial is a sham from beginning to end. You have everybody and their dog had an opinion about this before they called jurors at all. Before anything happened with this, everybody had an opinion. And then you get the evidence, and who cares about the evidence? They don't care about the evidence. They care about the fact that somebody put a pig's head in the house of one of the witnesses because he testified against the narrative that they believe. You know, it's just insane that this has been allowed to spin so out of control. I don't know what else to say to buy you time to look for things. I have lost. And now.
No, you look like an idiot.
Thank you.
Now I look like an idiot.
I mean,
hey, that was rude.
You're not wrong, Walter. You're just an asshole.
I can't find it right now. If I find it again, I will absolutely post that because it is infuriating. Nothing to see there. Nothing to see there. Well, since the world is going to crap, we might as well know how to stop idiots that think they deserve things that you have because justice or whatever. This video has gone viral and it's hilarious. This guy gets out of his car and a couple of kids that think they are tough or something decide to try to rob him. And this was the result. Let's see. I need to unmute you. And you ready for this? Mike hasn't seen this. He says he hasn't seen this.
I have not seen this, but I did just find an article about the Ukraine thing. But anyway, continue on.
All right. Now, be warned. The sounds you hear in this are all from a person. There are no animals involved in this video. You'll understand in just a little bit. So he runs up to him. He's serious. Grabs him.
Oh, dude!
Slams him to the ground. He squeals like a pig. Get at him.
Oh, shit. That was awesome.
Let's watch that again. This time I won't talk over it.
Let him go. You're literally standing 4 feet from the gun that your buddy just had.
Yeah. As soon as the guy grabs him. Oh, okay. That's how all of these Antifa idiots are. As soon as they're confronted with what they think with someone who has equal or more power as them, they tuck their little pigtails between their legs and start squealing like that kid did. I love that. That was. That's my favorite part of this whole thing. Is no, not that.
Not that part. A little further back.
That is the kid that got his head slammed on the asphalt, like squealing like a pig,
like pile driver right into the ground.
After holding this guy up with a gun or a knife, I can't really tell what the video is.
Yeah. You ever seen somebody with a really big rug and they're out and they're like flipping it back and forth, beating it on the ground to try to get the dirt or whatever off because they don't have a line to throw it over and beat it properly or anything like that? That's about what that guy just did to that kid.
Yeah.
He just picked him up and just, ow.
So this from Newsweek. They say, while people in the comments continue to wonder if the culprits were identified and caught, one concerned user insisted that they should have been handed over to the cops instead of allowed to run off. Let's hope the kid learns, but I'm not banking on it. That free pass will likely just cost another victim, possibly their life. No, the way that kid was squealing, after that pile driver, he's not doing anything for probably a month. Slammed on his head and neck like that. 2, squealing like a pig, if he's identified at all, he has no street cred.
I also want to point out that the man that was getting carjacked is the winner of this in more ways than one because he also just got a free handgun.
I mean, yeah.
The cops show up. So what happened to the weapon that you were assaulted with? No. Disappeared. It's lost in a tragic boating accident.
Yeah. Do you have the weapon that he had? It got lost in a boating accident. I don't. What do you mean it got lost in a boating accident? The boat came right through here and his gun just disappeared. That's tragic.
Some dude in his little Suburban hauling his 5 times larger than his vehicle boat.
And the gun
right down the middle, and the gun just disappeared.
Poof, the damnedest thing.
Damn, I've never seen anything like it.
I swear, I'd hand it to you if I had it, officer, but I got it.
But I am not currently in possession.
I was able, however, to get these prints off the gun using this tape before it disappeared. So there you go. Have a nice day.
I'm not even concerned that he find the kid now because I'm armed and he's probably got a concussion.
They are never going after that neighborhood again.
He's never coming back.
And it's not like the guy is some big burly biker guy. He's just some suburban dad-looking dude, basically. He's not. He probably exercises a bit more than myself or Mike, but yeah, that's your feel-good story of the at least week. Squealing like a pig as he runs off. Okay. Dude, let him go. Yeah, all of a sudden your life is on the line and it's not as fun, is it?
Yeah, right.
Idiots.
Do
you not think that human life is more valuable than your belongings? They don't think his life is more valuable than his belongings, so why should he care about their lives?
Yeah. Get a whole new perspective when somebody you thought was going to be a victim is suddenly beating you like a cheap racehorse.
You'll never be as good as Secretariat.
Oh, God.
In another happy story, this is from 3 years ago or so. So we all know about Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, and we don't speak of the Ocean's 10 because it bombed for a reason. But now there's Ocean's Fish Tank. Criminals hacked a fish tank to steal data from a casino. It wasn't just an ordinary fish tank, mind you, but a fairly high-tech one that featured internet connectivity. That connection allowed the tank to be remotely monitored, automatically adjust temperature and salinity, and automate feedings. Nice fish tank. It also allowed hackers to swipe 10 gigabytes of data from the North American casino that just installed it. The data had already been flowing by the time Darktrace was called in. One of the company's software was monitoring actively. The tank's unusual activity was spotted almost immediately. This tank is pinging their servers quite a bit. It's a lot of data flowing through a fish tank. The tank's communications with the casino's network appeared normal enough. The data it was pumping through to the outside was highly suspect. It was the only casino system that ever sent data to the remote server in Finland that it was communicating with. It also did so using protocols that are normally used for streaming audio or video. All these things about data that I don't know about. That's fascinating. This was a clear case of data exfiltration. So, yeah, check your fish tanks, people. you might lose your data. I thought that'd be a funny story. So, how are we getting in?
It would be funnier if I didn't also just read a story about how China's using Huawei and some of the other
5G.
No, some of the other production companies that are based in China. They're using them to plant technology to do their spying for them in other countries.
Oh, yeah.
So there's that.
They're always watching.
Big Brother much?
So how are we gonna steal from the casino? Well, they just installed this fish tank. We're going in through the fish tank. Not physically. Physically. Gonna hack their system through the fish tank. Yeah, that's the next Ocean sequel for you coming up.
It's a little fishy.
Sir, there's something fishy about the... Oh, this is bad. There's something fishy about the fish tank. I'm sorry. All right. So I was discovered to this article that I think I agree with. Because... as we've mentioned before in our, I don't remember what the episode's called, but it's where we read the dictionary. It was a fun episode.
That was a fun episode. That was like one of our first few episodes.
It was early. Yes,
it was early.
But essentially, whoever controls the language controls the narrative, right? Whoever's in charge of the definitions of words is the one that decides how the debates surrounding those words goes. So, this from the Federalist is 10 politically correct but factually false words and phrases to stop using immediately. This is not one of those liberal progressive lists that we've rattled off where you can't say brown bag anymore because it's racist somehow. This one's different. This one's for conservatives. And this is by Ellie Reynolds. And she starts off, the worst thing one can do with words is to surrender them, George Orwell wrote in his 1946 essay, Politics and the English Language. Orwell protested not just sloppy use of language, but intentional misuse of language for political purposes. Political language is designed to make lies sound truthful and murder respectable. Thus, political language has to consist largely of euphemisms, question begging, and sheer cloudy vagueness. So, with that, she says that politicians and media are changing definitions of words, using certain words to say things so they sound nice. But we, as more conservative thinkers, should be saying words that actually mean what we actually mean. So we don't give in to that, because if you give in to say what they say, you're agreeing with them.
The interesting thing about George Orwell and the fact that she brought him up here, he was a socialist.
Oh,
right?
raging socialist.
Raging socialist. Which is funny, because if you read his book, you're like, why did you write a book that stands against everything that you talk about being
Why
good?
did you write a book that conservatives can look to and say, this is why it's bad?
One of the most, like, the best oxymoron in an author I've ever seen, who is anti-totalitarianism but pro-socialism. Yeah.
You can't you can call a square something else, but it's still square.
Only fits in the square hole.
Square. Square is square.
It doesn't fit in the circle hole.
I love socialism, just not totalitarianism. So you hate socialism? So, the 10 words and reasons why. Number 1, mainstream media. I am guilty of this, but I agree with her assessment. The public communication cartel headed by New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, CBS, MSNBC does not represent mainstream Americans. Yeah. Earlier this year, Axios, another culprit of heavy-handed political spin, reported that 56% of Americans believe journalists and reporters are purposely trying to mislead people by saying things that they know are false or gross exaggerations.
That's because they are.
Thank you, Project Veritas, for showing that to us. Showing us what we already knew. Big media has engaged in deception through false and misleading reporting on Georgia's election laws. Yep, we covered that last week, and YouTube's trying to censor it. The trespass and unrest in the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. The autopsy just came out for the police officer that died, and it was
Stroke. Plural.
2 strokes.
Strokes.
Unrelated to the Capitol riots.
Or golf.
Or any chemical reactions or anything like that.
Yep.
Still sad that he died, but stop dancing on his grave to try to prop yourselves up to attack conservatives. Embracing Russiagate. Is it Russia? Hey.
I'm never calling it anything else.
Russia. And
the president of Russia.
It is Russia.
Russia. What are you, gay? Russia.
This goes back to the why Americans are amazing, because we take insults and wear them with pride. The rest of the world, you say Russia to a Russian.
We used to.
Yes. Our heritage is that we wear it with pride.
Point in fact, they're going around doing all the censoring of the mascots and stuff, right? So as a joke, they made this shirt that's like, it's a picture of a white dude that says Caucasians. And one of I had a friend who's like vehemently against like the mascots and stuff being like Redskins and whatever. And,
right.
And I was arguing with him about it one day, and he pulled that shirt up and he's like, "Does this offend you?" And I started laughing. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I want that shirt." And he's like, oh.
I saw this meme.
No, that's
relatable.
Hilarious.
It's a relatable meme. It's the meme of Jim from The Office and the whiteboard.
Oh, yes, the little flip chart thing that he does.
If you lose one sense, your other senses become enhanced. That's why people with no sense of humor have a heightened sense of self-importance.
Oh, that's funny. I always just go with the you found it offensive, I found it funny, that's why I'm happier than you.
That's It's an oversimplification of it, but yes.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, embracing Russiagate and the allegations of the Steele dossier against President Trump was one indicator of crumbling credibility. The cover-up of the Hunter Biden laptop story just before the 2020 presidential election was another. And then Hunter goes and writes a book about it.
Maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
I
it
was
was
thrown
Russia.
out of my mind, man. Come on, man.
Come on, man. I was snorting Parmesan cheese.
I was snorting
out of
Parmesan
the carpet.
cheese out of the carpet.
You expect me to remember if the laptop is mine? Even more recently, CBS's 60 Minutes
Parmesan
invented a scandal about Florida Republican Governor DeSantis. It was so egregious that all the other alphabet things called them out on it. That's how bad this thing was with Ron DeSantis at 60 Minutes. While giving minuscule coverage to New York Democrat Governor Andrew Cuomo's cover-up of COVID-19 nursing home deaths his policies caused.
You want to talk about somebody in a position of power that should be tried?
Right there.
That dude right there.
Right there.
Deserves to be put in front of a
Goes
jury of his
Frazier.
peers.
Leftist propaganda
And
outlets.
by his peers, I do not mean other political people. I mean his citizens.
Yes. And Gretchen Whitmer is not far behind him.
No. not far at
Leftist
all.
propaganda outlets who are running cover for Democrats and spreading inaccurate opposition research on conservatives don't deserve to be called mainstream. Instead, use big media, corporate media, or, as DeSantis says, smear merchants.
I like smear merchants.
I like smear merchants.
Smear merchants is fun.
The second word, gender, when you mean sex. Words have gender. People are one sex or another. For Latin and in many of the languages that have grown out of it, gender is a linguistic term indicating which word endings a term should possess. Gender is either feminine, masculine, or neutral, or neuter.
Neuter.
The phrase "la boulangerie," for example, is French for the bakery. Just say the bakery.
That is boulangerie, sir. And I know it's lingerie because it's French.
Also the inventors of mayonnaise.
And it means bakery.
Seems like saying bakery would be a lot quicker and easier.
It would be, but then you
Boulangerie.
wouldn't have
But then you
the
could say
word
lingerie.
lingerie mixed into it. It's not as sexy. It's not as good.
So what you're telling me is it in French, bakery translates literally to sexy bread.
Yes. That is what it is. Sexy bread.
Sexy bread.
Sexy bread.
I mean, I did take 2.5 years of French in high school, so I can agree with that as our local French authoritarian. Authority, not authoritarian.
It's a bakery that specializes in French style breads, which are the breads that wear the kinky little outfits.
That's what all the little crosses are for on there. Male and female, on the other hand, refer to sex. Sex is a biological category that reflects a person's physical characteristics and reproductive systems, and also manifests in certain broad behavioral differences that distinguish men and women. So, when you're talking to someone, well, I identify my gender as this. Cool. Your sex is male or your sex is female. Yeah, but you can identify however you want. That's fine. You were born a male or you were born a female. Your biology says you are this or that. Sorry. Number the third, sex reassignment surgery. Further, sex is not assigned at birth or ever. Yes.
Correct.
If it is not assigned, it cannot be reassigned. Logic. Surgical procedures that remove or conceal the outward appearance of a woman or man's reproductive organs are most accurately described as genital mutilation or amputation. Mm-hmm. Okay, I agree.
Ooh, I like the next one. Are you ready?
Democracy when you mean republic. Because we're not a democracy. We're not.
We're not? Are you sure we're not?
We are not a democracy. Did you find your button or no? You got...
Nope, keep going.
Okay.
There we go.
A democracy is a direct rule by the supreme will of the people. The highest law is that of the loudest mob, derived from the Greek demos, which is people, and kratia, which is power.
It's all coming together.
Demos. That sounds like demon. Democracy involves no higher law than popular consensus. Subjects the majority will to no checks and balances but itself. In Book 8 of the Republic, Plato lists democracy as the social structure directly followed by tyranny. Yep. Democracy, Plato theorized, quote, comes into being when the poor, winning the victory, put to death some of the other party, drive out others, and grant the rest of the citizens an equal share in both citizenship and offices. That is the constitution of democracy, alike whether it is established by force of arms or by terrorism. End quote.
You weren't far off on the word demon, by the way. It is Greek roots meaning destructive or hideous person.
Huh.
Funny enough, the first uses of it were in the Demon of Socrates, which was a daemonion, which was actually a divine principle or inward oracle, but the accusers of Socrates and later the church fathers represented it.
I can't even begin to tell you how much I hate Socrates now.
Right. So the original word that stems from daimon, D-A-I-M-O-N, does not carry negative connotations, and I probably said that terribly.
Demon. The American system was established as a constitutional republic. Thank you. The highest law of the land is the U.S. Constitution, to which all public servants are, or should be, accountable. Additional laws are made by elected representatives of the people. Further, the American system is a federal republic, meaning power is divided between federal, state, and local governments. Yes! All of whom serve as the guarantors of the people's sovereignty and rights. And as we've pointed out multiple times in the Constitution of the United States, it does not protect any state that is not a republic. It says at the very end, it guarantees each state a Republican form of government, not Republican Party, Republican government. That is what it's all about. Number the 5th, abortion doctors and abortion clinics. Doctors protect life. Yep. They don't willfully take it. Yes. The Hippocratic Oath, written by the ancient Greek physician Hippocrates and long respected as a noble description of a doctor's vocation, includes a commitment to, quote, not give to a woman an abortive remedy. Huh. So every doctor that takes that oath is violating that oath if they
perform an abortion. Mm-hmm.
Doctors are also obligated to, as far as it is in their power, do no harm. This phrase is commonly attributed to the Hippocratic Oath, but actually comes from another work of Hippocrates, his book of epidemics. Similarly, clinics are medical facilities where people receive help and care. We do not call the room in which a prisoner on death row is executed a clinic.
I believe that's called a chamber, usually.
And neither should we use the term to describe the place where preborn babies are killed and dismembered. Call abortionists and abortion facilities what they are. Right there.
The chamber of murders.
Oh, no, she says right here. Abortion doctors are abortionists, and abortion clinics are abortion facilities. Yeah.
The chamber of murders sounds so much more
European. But then people will start thinking you're talking about some sequel to Harry Potter. Letter the 6th. Anti-discrimination. Yes, I said letter of the six. That was intentional. The look on your face was trying to catch me in something that I intentionally did. Often, anti-discrimination policies actually refer to legal preferences based on sex, race, socioeconomic status, or some other category. The Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, for example, released an anti-racist agenda for medicine earlier this month that would provide, quote, preferential care based on race, end quote, for Black and Latino patients.
Isn't that essentially racist?
Yes. Anything that has to do anything
that is
critical
based
race
on
theory
race is racist.
Racist, yes. And that also plays into the whole Hippocratic Oath thing that was talked about earlier.
Because they're using a different definition of the word racist.
Pretty much.
And their definition of racist is white. So you can change that to anti-white agenda for medicine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. In another example of discrimination under the name of its opposite, Yale University unlawfully discriminated against white and Asian students, according to a 2-year Department of Justice investigation. I think we pointed this out before. Instead of using the leftist buzzword anti-discrimination to describe these policies, call them legalized preferences or simply the discrimination they are. Yeah. Legalized preferences. Undocumented immigrant. The Biden administration just did a thing on this.
After investigating ourselves, we have found that we've done nothing wrong.
Thank you, China. Undocumented is a term used by people who don't want to call breaking immigration laws illegal. However, most illegal immigrants have identification documents from their home governments. Further, 16 states, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Maryland, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, and Washington, as well as Washington, D.C., issue driver's licenses to illegal aliens, giving them U.S. documents as well. Good job, Utah. Equity or equality when you mean the other. Yes! We just want an equitable outcome. That is stupid and socialist. We want an equal outcome. That is stupid and socialist. Equity and equality sound similar but have widely different implications today. Noah Webster's 1828 dictionary we use that. Defines equality as the same degree of dignity or claims as the equality of men in the scale of being, and equality of rights. Declaration of Independence asserts that all men are created equal, recognizes this equal value and dignity and personhood of each human being. Equity has traditionally been a common legal term, referring to civil remedies. It can also mean the impartial distribution of justice. But the jargon of identity politics, equity describes a policy that recognizes that each person has different circumstances and allocates the exact resources and opportunities needed to reach equal outcome. See the above entry for anti-discrimination for an example of how equity-driven policies usually work. I think this one's one of my favorites. Cisgender is the 9th, is an unnecessary word and assumes that sex is a result of human choice. A cisgender man is a man. A cisgender woman is a woman. Only out of the Oxford English Dictionary in 2015, cisgender was invented to represent the opposite of transgender in the 1990s. Don't say it because it's pointless and useless.
Pretty much.
Oh, you're a cisgender man? I'm a man. I'm born a man, still a man. So you're cisgender.
You cisgender white male?
No.
I am a man. Yes.
I'm a man. Yes. I'm a man. I'm 40.
I'm a man.
Pro-choice. Number 10 is a euphemism to get around having to call yourself pro-abortion. But just as we don't use pro-choice to describe supporting a person's decision to murder another, we shouldn't use it here. Abortion denies giving the unborn baby the choice to live. In that sense, it is violently anti-choice. This invasion of one's mind by ready-made phrases, Orwell continued, can only be prevented if one is constantly on guard against them. Sloppy, inaccurate phrases will construct your thoughts for you, he says, and perform the important service of partially concealing your meanings even from yourself. Don't let corrupt media and politicians design your words and supplant your meaning to win the culture debate. You better first define your terms. Yes. All of that, yes.
Mm-hmm. I can agree to that.
Science. Oh, you found the Biden thing and sent them to me. How nice.
I did.
Withheld $150 million of Ukraine aid.
Yes.
Until they...
out of the $275 million that was approved. So the second link, actually, the Conservative Treehouse one has the original article by OANN tagged in it as well. And that one has a link to a Twitter that has the video of the Department of Defense meeting where they talk about it.
Oh.
And the description of why he is withholding the money.
Then on top of that, the U.S. is attempting to push Ukraine into war. Such war needs to be limited in scale because the U.S. tends to always minimize its risks. Yeah.
That from the director of the Center for Military and Political Studies at the Moscow State Institute of International Relations. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, that is a massive mouthful of a title. How do you describe that to people when you're at a party? Like, what do you do for a living? Oh,
I'm the director of the Center for
Military.
I
start wars. That's what. If I was that dude, that's how I would start wars. I don't want to tell you the actual title I have because F that. Like, I start wars. That's what I do.
And at the bottom of this, they have, meanwhile, Biden is evading calls to accept Ukraine into NATO, although such a promise was made back in 2008. Because if Ukraine was part of NATO, all of a sudden, all the other countries in Europe have to worry about Ukraine. Because Russia attacks Ukraine, all the other countries are now obligated to defend Ukraine against Russia, because that's the sole purpose of NATO, is an anti-Russia conglomeration of countries.
I love the Conservative Treehouse's take on it. Biden's woke foreign policy is Obama's intentionally weak foreign policy. The Obama people behind Joe Obama will find a way to engage in some kind of war or military action as another purposeful distraction from the domestic agenda they are carrying out.
I mean, he's not wrong.
It's a little on the nose.
He's not wrong. That's it. We only had a few.
That's it for this week.
A few stories, because everything else.
Go be with your families. Go do something important. Bye.
Pretty much. Yeah. Next week, I hope to have a little fun history thing compiled together that should be a movie or two or three, depending on how many stories I get mashed together. One of them involves...
Stop it. Get some help.
Okay, fine. I won't. I won't. And you'll be left in the dark and never know. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, we need to... I'll do that right now, actually. Do that right now.
Right meow?
Yeah.
What are you doing right meow?
Go to YouTube. Go to our channel here. Stop it.
Okay, I'll stop it.
Oh, wait, there we go. YouTube Studio. Go here.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Content. Go to Battle of Athens.
Oh, yay.
Making that public now.
Sweet.
Because nobody wants to pay for it, so. Which is fair.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, Battle of Athens is now up for. We'll link that to this thing. You could go watch it. It has actually a lot more to do with our last election than we thought it would. And we published that on April 20th last year. No, wrong. That's saying we published it today.
Today is April 20th. I was going to say, we did that a year ago. Mm. That doesn't make sense. We just barely started a year ago.
Let's see.
We did that in like October, dude.
Yeah. Da-da-da. Huh. October 31st.
I knew it.
Yep.
All Hallows Eve.
That's when it was uploaded. But yeah, the Battle of Athens. Athens, Tennessee, not Athens, Greece. And, it goes into, it's basically Time Magazine article, but in the late 40s.
In the history view.
Yeah. It's, you could say it was their playbook for 2020, based off of the Time Magazine article.
Pretty much.
Because it's all part of the plan.
Yeah, and next week, if I get all my ducks in a row, I'll have a story of one of America's first spies.
It's a good story.
One of America's first special forces missions. And one other story that I can't remember right now offhand.
The eyes are open, the mouth moves, but Mr. Brain has long since departed, hasn't he?
True story. But no, everything I will share next week should be a Hollywood story, Hollywood movie, because it would be epic.
Yes, but we can't do that because then we wouldn't be able to.
Knows that we are going to have to make sacrifices. We are going to have to change our conversation.
History.
We're going to have to change our traditions, our history. We're going to have to move into a different place.
Different place. Thank you, Michelle, for putting out the playbook so you could be taken off the campaign trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About that.
I thought it was... over the summer, I found it interesting that Democrats were canceling their own history.
Right.
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson got caught up in the mix and all that. But primarily the focus was on Andrew Jackson, certain race-related things, all of which were implemented by or defended by Democrats. To the point where Nancy Pelosi removed pictures of former speakers of the House because of their ties with the Ku Klux Klan. Every single picture she had pulled down was a Democrat. Now, why would they want to cancel their own history if you don't want people to know about your history? Then all you have to see about the Democrat Party is all the good that they did, which is a very short book. Well, both sides have their issues. One side has a lot more issues than the other. In fact, one side creates the issues as well as has issues.
Yeah. The best thing that can be said about the Republicans is that they don't do much.
And I'm fine with that. It's a do-nothing Congress. Good.
They shouldn't do anything. Just leave it alone.
Mostly they should just sit there and wait to see if anyone attacks us so they can declare war.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. And then whatever legislation needs to be done because states can't seem to agree on commerce.
At this point, we need to undo a lot before we can just let them not do anything, though.
We need a big ol' eraser. Yeah, it'll be fun. Oh, I remember. The third one is about the first slaves.
Oh.
16 and 19.
That one.
I'm going to debunk the entire...
Wasn't that guy's name Johnson?
The entire basis for the 1619 project, I will dismantle with the story of one person. It's fantastic. I can share it with you now, but I don't have all the links and everything to actually prove my point, and that's most.
His name was Johnson. I was right. He was a dick.
Yeah. A very, very big one.
Well.
So you got that to look forward to next week, and it'll be good. It'll be fun because it destroys a lot of narratives, and that's fantastic.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Oh yeah, we made a couple of things.
We made a couple of things.
Those should be up by the time you're listening or watching this.
Or taken back down.
Or taken down because it's got nudity or something. I don't know.
It's something. Who knows?
Well, we can't nail them for election stuff because they're right. We can't nail them for the Georgia stuff because they're right. Hey, they got a link to their merchandise. Slap nudity on it or something. That's the best we got. That's thank you, commies. Copyright infringement. The former Soviet Union has copyrights to
Russia?
To Russian music?
To the Russian music?
They're communists. They should love sharing
Never
that
letting
with
you
everyone.
live that down.
I'm fine with that. Russians. Maybe that'll be the name of the episode.
The
now.
Russians.
Instead of whatever I put on there for the title. The Russians.
The Russians are coming.
I don't know how I'd spell that, though, because...
Russ space Ians.
There it is. That's it.
All right. Well,
be
as
good,
usual,
guys. Hold the line. Don't give them an inch.
Fight like hell.
Yes.
Oh wait, that's Crowder's thing.
Still do it.
That is
I don't care. I'm buying one of his shirts. I like him.
I like them too. I want one.
I want that. Like, subscribe,
buy a
share,
shirt.
Buy a shirt. That go a long ways to help us out because then we can make more shirts that are even funnier.
Or even more censored.
Yes.
We'll do it by degrees.
Do it by degrees.
Just a little bar, then a bigger bar.
The bar gets smaller and smaller with each. Yeah. Do all the things to help spread the word and make us...
subscribe, stars, buy things, say things, send things, share things.
Do all the things that help prop up our egos and make us think we're actually reaching people. Because we really do care. We really do. We joke about it, but we really do care about trying to share this info with as many people as we can because truth matters.
Mm-hmm.
And, for example, with the Chauvin thing, if all the evidence came out that he was a racist, George Floyd hating whatever guy and took the opportunity to kill him, slap him in jail and never let him out.
Ever.
Ever.
Throw away the key. But the evidence I saw did not incline me to that.
That being said, we both have not seen all 5,000 plus pieces of evidence.
No, we haven't.
But from what we have seen and everything surrounding the case outside of the courthouse, it's hard to believe the jury actually did jury stuff. But it's out of my power right now.
Yeah.
The best we can do is share our opinion about it and show where we get our opinion from, like we do every week. Love you guys so much.
So very, very much.
Bye.
Bye. All right.
I need
Fine.
to there.
Russian parts, American parts, all made in Taiwan.
Not anymore.
Ooh.
Taiwan doesn't exist though.
Well, yes, but yes, they do.
No, the Who says they don't.
Oh no, but they have their own sovereign little place and everything. They have treaties and allies and stuff.
You can just end a Skype interview.
Wait a minute. You're allowed to hang up on journalists?
You can just do that? Yeah, I'm going through a tunnel right now.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question.
You're in your.
Oh, let me ask you it again. No.
That's
can.
fine. We
we'll
can go
just
to
move
another
on.
one.
But I really want to know about doo.
Going through a tunnel.
The equivalent of when your mom called and you didn't want to talk to her. Sorry, you're breaking up. I can't hear. I might lose. Click.
Yeah. Kids these days don't know the luxuries that were.
And then you get that awkward phone call back. You're on a landline, dumbass. Oh,
yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Anyway, shall we get started into the doom and gloom?
Sure. Let's start.
Okay.
Wait.
That's
Yep, there it is. It's over. That was a good episode.
Good talk.